Hi all, my name's Lulu and I'm Crafting Anonymous, and today I'm going to show you how you can use a bolt from a fabric store to make various crafts. So I'm going to show you some examples of some of the crafts I've done, and I'm going to actually do a craft for you today using the inside, the corrugated part of the bolt. And so there's so many things you can do with this. And what I wanted to tell you about is my name. My nickname is Lulu. And do you remember the little doll Lulu, the little cartoon Lulu, little Lulu? That's what my dad used to call me when I was little. So that's how I got my nickname. And so my real name is not Lulu. That is my nickname. So what I am going to do is take an X-Acto knife and I'm going to slit down the sides of the bolt with the X-Acto knife, and that's going to give me two pieces. But like I said, there's various things that you can do with a bolt. You can use it as a sign. You can paint the outside of it and decorate it. I stenciled on that. Or you can slice it down the middle using an X-Acto knife, and you will get two sides with it. And this one happens to be all brown on the inside, and that gives you two boards to work with, and you can cut different shapes. The one I'm going to be using today was the other half of this one, which is white. And I made another project yesterday, which I'll show you. And this is using a canvas from the Dollar Tree. I put the corrugated piece on the outside, and I did a smash can with a napkin and a little sign from the napkin using a piece of burlap. I painted and distressed it. And this is just various things you can do with this corrugated cardboard. And so that was really cute, and that was super easy. And just put a little tag on the top to hang it. And this is what we're going to be working with today. So I have a tray from the Dollar Tree, and you can do it vertical or horizontal. I'm going to do it vertical, and I'm going to paint the tray first. So I'm going to put 2 coats of plaster. I like plaster by Waverly. That's if you watched other of my videos, you'll see that that's my go-to paint. It does a really good job as a base coat. So it's going to take 2 coats, and I'm going to be covering the inside, so silly me, I don't even know why I painted the middle. Didn't need to, but there you go. It's going to be painted. So it's going to take 2 coats to paint, and I'll use my heat tool to dry between. You always want to make sure that you don't have any clumps and that you dry it well before you put your second coat on. So now I'm using this video is also something I'm using for Facebook, so that's why you're seeing me, my mouth moving a little bit. So, but I sped this up from 1 hour to 15 minutes for you, so that you can just get the gist of the project, see really just what we're doing. Very simple project, very simple. This is something you can do cardboard art, using that with your children. They could do base coat painting with your instructions, so you can either do it side by side or you could do it by supervising them, depending on the age that they are. You can just make all kinds of different things with it. Now, using the X-Acto knife and stuff, you would need to help them with that. I would not recommend them doing that on their own. So this is the second coat of the base coat, and you're going to want to make sure you get an even coat. Again, I really don't need to be doing the middle, but I did it anyway. And once you get that second coat on, you'll want to dry that again before you apply your third coat. Now again, that's Waverly chalk paint that I'm using, and it's the color plaster. So once I get this dry, I'm going to apply a third coat, and I'm going to be using the color Mineral. and that's also by Waverly. It's kind of a taupey color, and that's going to go really well with what I'm doing. Taupe goes with so many things. It goes well with blues, yellows, greens, reds. It's just a really great, versatile color. So as you can see, I have all my brushes laid out next to me so that before I start crafting, I always select what brushes I'm going to use. I want to make sure I have the right ones handy. I do like certain types of brushes with different projects. I like the really flat ones for painting surfaces, but when I'm doing a large surface, I use the more of a painter's brush. And that heat tool that I'm using, you can use a hair dryer if you don't have that. I used a hair dryer for many months before I actually invested in a heat tool. So look at how beautiful this taupe color is. Look at that. That's a beautiful color. As you can see, it's called mineral, but the color is taupish, and that's why I'm calling it taupe. But the color actually from Waverly is mineral. And so again, once I get this painted, I'm gonna need to put another coat on it. Again, I do not need to be doing the middle. I don't know why I'm wasting the paint. And once I go to do the fourth coat, I realize it. It's like, oh, hey, Lulu, you don't need to be doing this. So I'm getting that on there. I'll dry it again with the heat tool. Now, more about this heat tool. That heat tool has 2 settings. And if you get it too close to something on the highest setting, you're going to melt whatever you're using. So you want to make sure that you liberally move that heat tool around and don't use the high setting. The only thing you would need a high setting for is if you wanted to scorch something. I rarely use the high setting on anything, especially near plastic. It's going to melt it. And that's a Wagner heat tool. I think I got it for about $28 at Lowe's. You can get them anywhere. Yeah, I think they even have something like it at Walmart, and you can get it on Amazon. So now I finally, rocket science, I realize I don't need to be doing the inside, so I'm just doing the outside. And like I said, it needed that 4th coat, and more because I'm going over plastic and it had a pattern on it, so it was showing through. So you just want to make sure you get that covered really well. Once I get that 4th coat covered, the rest of the project's going to go very fast. I'm going to get that dried, and it's really good to kind of have an idea what you're going to be doing and kind of going over it before you commit to a project. Sometimes you can just wing it, but most of the time for me, myself, I need to do a little bit of planning on it. So I actually started planning this yesterday, measuring it out, getting things prepped and cut, and deciding, what I wanted to do with it. I decided I didn't want to do a Christmas theme. I've been doing a lot of Christmas lately, and fall and Halloween before that. And so I decided I was going to be doing just something more for the house, a household item. And that's something I like to do. So this corrugated was white, and it had the paint, it looked distressed. So rather than paint the whole thing really well, I do want to keep it with a distressed look. So I just gave a really quick brush of the Waverly plaster on top of it. I could have used the brown one, but I liked that one was white inside because it gave me that look that I already was going for. I didn't have to use as much paint. And look at the contrast that has with the taupe. It looks really good. So I pre-did a sign on a piece of burlap. I stenciled the word hello on there. See how nice that looks? Look at all those colors together. And so I should not have glued the whole thing down because I'm going to be applying some bells, and I want those bells to go behind the back of it. So when I realized that I'm needing to unhook the glue, unhinge the glue from there. And the easy way to do that, it's don't get upset about it, is you take the heat tool and you heat the back of the tray, and that loosens the glue. And when you do that, you're able to pull it apart. So that heat tool is really a great thing for loosening glue. So this thing that I'm using now is it's a rub-on. It looks like watercolors, but it's just a lot of different rub-on colors that you can use. And I use that to distress it. So I'm using the heat tool to separate that so I can put the bells inside. I got these bells at a store called Pop Shelf, and there were 4 of them, so I put 2 of them together on that, and I layered them, and I was able to remove that backing and press it back down. It has the blue distressing on it, and now I need to make a bow, and that's looking really good so far. So I'm going to use my tool Bodabra, and I'm going to use the some scrap fabric that I have, and I had taken this rug apart, and that rug gave me 5 bags of fabric to use for and string to use for rag bows. So I just selected a bunch of colors that I thought would look really good with the taupe and the blue. And now I'm going to be stripping them up, shredding some into smaller pieces as needed and cutting them as I go along, and just making a simple rag bow. And that's just cutting strips and just going crisscross and layering them in the design that you want, and just kind of free-forming it. It turns out to be a really cool bow. And then once you layer the bow and get as many strips as you want on it, then you can trim it down. So I just kind of freehand, just cut them, and I'm just layering all different colors in there. And that's a really fun rag bow. So tearing that rug up that I got, it was $5 at the Five Below store, and it gave me those 5 bags of rags and all the various colors. I separated them by color, and just keep layering it, just crisscrossing them. I had no rhyme or reason. I just was liking how, the colors that I picked out to go with it. They all go well with taupe. And then you take the little thing for the Bodabra, press it down, and you tie the twine the way you want it, and just keep tying, tie it a couple times, and then you start trimming it to the desired length. So it's going to take me a few tries before I decide what the best length for this bow is going to be. I end up cutting it down, excuse me, a little short, because it's more like, I cut it down to more like a pom-pom, and get it all trimmed up. And it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna take me a few tries to get it to where I want it. But look at those colors on there. Isn't that looking nice? And the bells sound really good. They have just a really nice sound to them. So just keep trimming it till you get it the way you want it. It's better to be bigger and work your way down than to start too small and not have the right length. So I'm just, continuing shaping it to the way I want it, and just don't give up. And look at that. Oh gosh, that's so cute. It looks even better in person. Look at all the colors. Aren't those great? So then all I need to do is get the twine behind there, glue it down, and we have our finished product. And that thing, it cost $2.53, about $5 to make at the most. So that's a cute gift for any time of year. And you could change it up by putting on the bells, you could put tissue paper. I'm just showing some other things. Remember this video that I did recently, making the Santa gnome. Well, I got these cute little stockings at the at Walgreens or Walmart, and I'm going to make little mini gnomes out of them. They were 98 cents a piece, so I thought, man, those are so cute. I'm just going to have to make those. So again, my name's Lulu, and I'm with Crafting Anonymous. If you could subscribe to this button and like, I'd appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in other videos, upcoming videos, or go back and check out some of my past videos. This little round I got at the Five Below also, I'm going to put a napkin in the middle of it in a future video, and I'm going to show it to you then.